look forward to. And
Yes.
we get a chance to dish it up with Dr. Deborah Stroman. What's up, D. Stro? How you doing this morning?
Whew. I'm breathing.
Oh man,
I
Yeah,
know.
it's
it's
about
been a week. It's been a week.
sports and politics and the senseless killings. And
Mm.
Yes.
so I think it's time to go there. I think it's time to go there.
Let's go.
So
Let's go.
Buffalo in Texas, one
Mm-hmm.
killer espousing hate for black people, and the other one leaves us questioning the motive.
Right.
We
Mm-hmm.
do know it wasn't a diagnosed mental health challenge. So I have a
Mm-hmm.
lot to say. I don't even know if I have any rhythm to all this, but I just want to speak to sports and politics and senseless killings. We've had 119 school shootings since 2018. We've
Mm-hmm.
had 27 shootings in 2022. We've got more firearms per 100 residents than any other country in the world. We are a violent country. We have no peers in this area. In fact, the nearest countries to us is Yemen and Serbia. And if you know what's going on in those countries, and then you compare what's going on in our country, and we look down, make fun of, shake our heads at, pray for what's going on in those countries, how about us? We have more guns than people. Clearly, we're a global outlier, and it's getting worse. We are also the best equipped mass murderers in the world, as in this AR-15. 18 years old, go get yourself one.
Right.
So where I am today is, if this is our America, our United States, then what are we doing? The sports industry, athletes, coaches, administrators, medical folks, media, us. It's a new day. We have to talk politics to survive. And so I'm very glad that more sports folks are getting involved in this and speaking up, being courageous. Coach Steve Kerr, he
Mm.
used his status and influence to emotionally share in his press conference. He was screaming. He slammed his fist on the table. I'm tired. I'm tired of getting up here and offering condolences. I'm tired of the silence. Enough. There's a reason why they won't vote on it, Kerr said, to hold on to power. Last night, watching the Miami game, at the beginning of the game, Eastern Conference Game 5, millions of people watching. They stopped and they called for people, for fans to contact their state senator in support of common sense gun laws. And they also announced pushing people to register to vote. That's using courage. That's using your pulpit. Heat coach Eric Spoelstra, he commented on the shooting before the game, telling reporters he wanted to see action. And I love what Damian Lee said, Golden State Warriors guard. It's easier to get a gun than baby formula right now. That's unbelievable in the country that we
Yeah.
live in.
Yeah.
So I'm just asking all of us, what are we going to do? Where's our accountability? I'm not going
Mm.
to stop talking about it. In fact, President Obama said way back when that we should be obsessed with this. And what's happening is we're normalizing this. The shooting of blacks, the killing of children in our schools, entering into churches, faith centers, and causing harm. We have to be obsessed with this. We can't just keep doing the normal, I just say the routine of anger, grief, and thoughts and prayers. That's an easy script. We have to be better.
That's true.
We're talking with Dr. Deborah Stroman, the same as we do each and every week on Dishing It Up with D. Stro. We're talking about the senseless killings that happened in Uvalde, Texas this week. And I got to be honest, Dr. Stroman,
And Buffalo, and
and
Buffalo.
Buffalo 2 weeks ago. Now, I just have to be honest. Every time they pull up the statistics and they say that 70% of the voting population feels and believes that we should have some changes to the gun laws in this country, some additional things done to the gun laws in this country, and nothing ever happens, it always makes me leery to what how is this system actually designed? Because if 70% of the population feels one way, how does nothing ever happens, especially in light of what's been happening? It makes me feel that we have a bigger and a much deeper issue when it comes to uh, our laws in this country, voting in this country, so other things. Because if 70, 80% of people believe one thing, I don't understand why it's not changing.
We do understand. It's because it's clear that we don't have a democracy. People think that we do. It's a beautiful word. It's very aspirational, but we don't have a democracy. It's
Right.
clearly an oligarchy. It's about
Mm,
a group of people who have the power and they have the economics and they control everything. And if we go back in our history, if we study our history, we understand the electoral college and what that was done to silence
mhm.
the power of blacks, our numbers in the South. And it lives
Correct.
today. There are people who do not want women, who do not want people of color, and they don't want most of America to lead. It is a small group, predominantly white men, who are controlling
Hmm.
this country. Quote me on it.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow. We're talking about double Stroman, distro, each and every hump day, not hump day, but throwback Thursday as it is today. You said so much there. A couple of things, we talk about the electoral college is really interesting. You know that the state of Montana has damn near much power as the state of California in
That's
terms of
right.
electoral college. That blows your
Hmm.
mind. Where they drape the amount of people population wise in terms of California and Montana. But in terms of senators, things of that nature, it's same level of power, which is ridiculous. And when you look at you're talking about what's going on with the guns and the percentages, things associated with that. I get that. Now, man, I'm not a gun owner, but I think if you're going to own a gun, it's fine. But I'm just really confused about the process of people obtaining guns, and particularly 18 when you can get a automatic rifle when you don't have a license. I just that just bothers me, and it plays into that. And what I don't like about it is I mean, there's some mental health issues out there. Obviously, that plays a role, but mental
No,
health is one.
let's
Mental health.
correct that.
Well, let me say this:
No,
mental health is one thing, but the process of obtaining the gun should be a whole different thing. And I think there lies some of the problems we're having in this country right now.
this. Thank you for that. This is one of the distractions. Is to say, oh, it's all about mental health. Let me quote: "It is a common misconception that individuals living with mental illness are responsible for gun violence. In
Right.
reality, the
True.
majority of
Yes.
people with mental illness do not engage in violence against others. And most interpersonal violence is caused by factors other than mental illness. In fact, people with mental illness are more likely to be victims of violence than perpetrators of violence. Focusing on mental illness as the cause of gun violence stigmatizes millions of Americans and does not actually address the root cause of the gun violence problem: easy access to guns."
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking with Dr. Deborah Stroman, dishing it up with D. Stroll, and you mentioned easy access to guns, and if you just take uh, the actions since May 18th, this young man's birthday, until the incident this week, and you just look at the progression of what he was able to do as far as purchasing the guns and the
Yes.
ammo and
Hmm.
all of these things, and this is done by an 18-year-old that has been dropped out of school, was on the truancy list, and all of these other things, and a loner, all these other things, and he was able to do that. You can't comfortably say that we have a system that doesn't need to be fixed, that doesn't need
Right.
some tweaking.
Absolutely.
You just
Right.
can't comfortably say that. But nobody, they don't want to say it because they feel like it'll take some rights away from others. And it goes back to, I think recently we had this conversation. If if we do anything, it's going to take something away from me, and
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Zero
that's
sum. That's right.
yeah.
Hmm.
It just seems to be that if we do anything, I'm going to lose something.
Yeah. pretty
Why?
much.
That's
How does that ever play into that all the time? But it's just a mentality that if anything changes, I'm going to lose something,
right.
and
Well, it's about
I
the
would rather
freedom.
keep. I would, right. I'd rather keep.